right. Okay.
Are we live?
We are. Episode 2. Let me move this just a little bit. More of the comedian in the shot. All right. So, well, welcome everybody. This is episode 2 of Bite-Worthy. Bite-Worthy is a term that I coined that hopefully catches on. If not, I'm going to feel real embarrassed. So, biting material, for those of you who don't know in the industry, is a term where you steal material from someone, steal jokes. We don't do that, but I do know many actual comedians who are worthy of stealing that. So, this comedian is no exception. Today we are at Johnny's Pizza, his choice. My comedian friend, new up-and-coming comic, look for him, Zac Hadlock.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Yeah.
So you chose pizza, man.
Yes, sir.
So you're from Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey, man.
New Jersey.
Yeah, and I'm talking to a guy from Chicago, and so the fact that he was willing to meet me on my turf, this is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So let me ask you. The first question is, it's not about comedy. It's about pizza. Where does really, honestly answer this. Where does New Jersey pizza stand? Because there's New York, Chicago, Jersey, Detroit, and different ones. Cincinnati has its own. Where does Jersey stand?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty common in New York. Because in New York, you have the competition.
A dime a dozen.
Yeah. I mean, you got your dollar slices on the street. You know what I mean? But in Jersey, mom and pop shops, I mean, I have blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm not crazy Italian, but I'm from there, and I associate from that. But my local place was named Luigi's. You know, we'd go to Luigi's Pizza. The first time I ever had a calzone, I'm in there with my brother. I'm 8, and we're at Luigi's. My mom's at the A&P getting groceries. And the guy behind the counter, he's like, hey, have you guys ever had a calzone? And then my brother and I are like, no calzones. And he's like, it's like a donut. Come on. No, you never had a... So that's how I was raised, you know, in that community. And it's like a donut. Yeah, so... That's I mean, Luigi's Pizza. It doesn't get better than that, you know.
So you're ranking Jersey pizza.
It's par, you know, not par, but it shares the apex with New York.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll respectfully disagree, but that's okay.
Sure.
Wafer thin, Chicago style pizza, cut into squares, not slices. That's me.
That's like a bagel bite.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I guess it's true, but I can house. Medium pizza, Chicago style. Sure. So you're a self-proclaimed wannabe comedian, but I would say you are a comedian.
I appreciate that.
On your bio. What's the biggest thing, like being a new comedian? Because I'm kind of baby stepping too. What's the biggest thing between standing in front of you, between like being confident on stage as a veteran? What do you have in terms of obstacles that like hinders confidence? You know, being a new comic.
I think the biggest thing is just, I'm okay public speaking. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with looking like an idiot, you know. So if I go up there and if I don't perform I'm okay. I'm not going to come home and drive at that, you know, to my house that night and just be like, shit, you know, I'll be all right, you know. But I think the biggest thing is just writing correctly.
It's important.
Yeah, making sure sometimes if I'm not confident, I just ramble. I go off on tangents, and I can do okay with that. But just like making sure that I'm organized in my brain, you know. If I start losing my grip, you know, I'll start drifting. So I just
unravel.
Unravel. Just being closer to what I'm out there to do, and
that's that's a sound that sounds like sage advice from an experienced comic. But if you're new, that's wild.
I appreciate that.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I would say. It's so stupid, but I turn red. Red.
Sure, man.
Easy.
Sure, me too.
And
I get tomato head. Yeah.
Just rosacea on stage with the lights. Then the joke sucks. That God forbid I get a heckle. Just explode. I
got my first heckle the other day.
Well, what did they say?
Yeah, it was
boo.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't the mean heckler. It was the overly nice heckler. Like, it was like front row guy. Like, I get that. He was like derailing everything, ruining timings. It was at the El Dorado.
That sucks.
Yeah, and he was doing that to like every comic. A few guys roasted him, and then he left. And then he was gone for like an hour.
Right after you?
He came back the comic before I got. So
Got
he
back
left,
to you.
and then he came back, and I'm like, so it was like 1:30 in the morning. I had work the next day.
Yeah.
I ended up just like half my set. I was like written material just to practice, and half my set was like, let's just practice talking to this guy. And it went pretty good. I was happy with it, and I mean everyone was tired.
Just rip, because you got to lean into it.
Sure.
You can't argue with that guy. You make an enemy out of the crowd.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
that's a fine line.
Yeah.
So being from Jersey, let me ask you, what would be worse to wake up to in the middle of the night? Old Snooki or the Jersey Devil?
Snooki.
She little people don't. She was the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, I
She's
gotta
a
tell
little
you,
goblin.
I was like in the mid-high age, or when that was going off. Everyone I grew up with looked really normal until that show came out.
And then it went
There was some major influence. I'm not kidding.
You know what? I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
There was some. I'm not from the shore. I was the northern tip. Pretty close to the city. And man, people changed. People changed.
That's so crazy.
Gym Tan Laundry started bleeding through into culture. Yeah.
Pauly D and his plastic hair. Like, he could probably... You remember Juggernaut from the X-Men? He could probably, like, bulldoze.
Crack some drywall, yeah.
Yeah. So, you say, are you from North Jersey?
Yeah, the northern tip.
So, I think I know the answer to this question. Taylor ham or pork roll?
Taylor ham.
Taylor ham.
Yeah.
So, where does pork roll start to come in?
I still like it. Yeah.
It's not... You're not gonna... It's like...
I don't have fond memories.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember Taylor ham just all right.
It's not like because how that's depicted, and for those who don't know, it's a sandwich. It's like a sandwich on a specific type of bread with like what mustard.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. One side of Jersey calls it Taylor ham, and the other pork roll.
Yeah,
and it's like. It's worse than Republicans and Democrats.
It's a divide. Yeah.
You thought Corona deaths were high. Pork roll, Taylor ham, Jersey deaths.
You catch a bullet for that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Liz. Liz better weigh in on this and tell me what she says. You might make a.
Do you know if she's from North or South?
I don't know. I know she's from Jersey, and she sounds like it.
Sure.
she's tough.
Yeah.
She's rough and tumble. She's short but tough.
Is she like me? If you're talking to me in common conversation, like at my work or something, like it's there on some certain words. But if I'm ever like public speaking, or if I'm like agitated or tired or reading a book, like it comes out hard, like really hard.
I would say if you guys were to get together,
it would.
It's like if you were to get like my lady's from. Athens area, right? Yeah. Watkinsville. And so very, very small community. And sometimes when we hang around there, it's a little bit country.
Sure.
You know, it's like, okay. Or if I were to hang out with if I were to get in a conversation with my Uncle Ed or something like that, it'd be Bears, Chicago, talk about that. And I just start sounding like Mike Ditka the whole time. But it goes away. But I guess you just get, something happens in your brain with nostalgic memory and speech and stuff. Yeah. So I'd like to get you guys together.
Get us in a room.
Jersey conversation.
Yeah.
So what's different about like Northeastern comedy, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, but then than Atlanta comedy? Because we're in the South. Let me tell you, when I moved down here, there was a guy, and we drove down the road. My mom had the funniest reaction, and this says everything about Northern versus Southern. We were driving down the road, and the guy, he was driving, and he gave me the bunny, the little bunny rabbit. Hello. And my mom, instead of being like, hi, she goes, the fuck is he waving at?
How rude,
Calm down, Mom. It's okay. He's just saying hi. That's what she said. I was like, man.
First thing she did, she checks her mirror to see if she's got a gas pump dragging behind her. Like, what's he trying to tell me?
It sounds so stupid. Like, Mom, they're just being friendly.
Yeah.
And so is that the same way that you see in comedy, or is it different?
I think that, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not like, I was kind of like a suburb kid as opposed to like a deep-seated, so this is mostly me taking guesses and looking at my older siblings too. They were a lot more ingrained into New York culture and stuff. But I feel like New York people are just more openly agitated, more aggressive as opposed to passive aggressive. Yeah. Because in the South, I meet the nicest people, that I find out later are talking a lot of smack behind my back, or what, you know. So it's like we're more bold to say I don't like you, and I'm okay with you knowing that. But down here, it's
that's
like
more respectable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's, don't lie to me. Don't make me a liar.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're not wrong. I do that as I call people around the country for a portion of my job, or a large portion of my job. When I see a Rhode Island or a Jersey or a New York come, the conversation's very different.
Sure.
Guy answered the phone. This is a real business. The guy goes, what? Good God. And so you have to give it back a little bit and say, what do you mean what? Is this a business?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, this is blankety blank business. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to professional.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of give it back and get on their level.
The most important thing, I learned this when I was doing sales for a minute, is if they sound like they just had a cup of coffee, you just had a cup of coffee. If they just woke up from a nap, you just woke up from a nap. You know, match that level, and then take it from there. You know?
I like that. Yeah. Not getting comedy advice; it's career advice.
Sure. Yeah.
That's good. So is there anything like different about the material? Because I can tell you that there's not as many like Italians and stuff. Because we were talking about this earlier. Is like I have a lot of Italian material that I've never used because it doesn't really land here.
Sure.
We're not surrounded by, you know, dumb guineas like we would be in, you know, Portsmouth or place like that. So
yeah, it's incredibly different. My idols, you know, Jim Gaffigan, I think, is my number one. Like, hey, that guy to me, if I could,
very bite-worthy.
Yeah, and so I'd take a bite out of him. And then and Seinfeld too.
I'm gonna quote you on that. Seinfeld, I say Seinfeld often.
Sure.
Ray Romano is another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And so I like talking about goofy stuff. You know, in most of my sets, I have a lot of bug jokes. You know, I don't know why. I
was going to mention that because you had a bit about fireflies.
Yeah.
That I love that bit.
I appreciate that.
It's so funny. The sparkler.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm glad you even know about it.
Yeah, I do.
I appreciate that.
I do. I pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of comedy.
I'm glad.
I really am.
Yeah. But coming to the South, I've come to find that I like need to get more educated on just like current events, or even like racial humor. Like I'm never going to get up on stage.
Boy, let me tell you.
And try that game. I'm not interested in it. You know, it's not something that I want to push the boundary.
Yeah.
I have no intention of going there.
Yeah.
But you know, the room's either hot or cold. But when it's hot, it's flaming hot. People love it.
It's very
but
true.
I don't even. It's not interesting to me. It's not my style.
Right,
So,
and that's totally okay. Everybody has that, and you know, having such a saturated population of black people versus white people in areas, and then some comedy rooms are heavily catered to black versus white.
Sure.
I can understand how that'd be. I don't really have many like racial jokes. I think I have one that I really tell, and like on stage, and the others are just kind of silly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I actually asked my buddy. I had the first episode, Kendall. I talked to him for an hour and a half because that man could talk. We'll talk your ear off.
Yeah.
But I asked him about like, hey, I have a joke about this, and it involves like the KKK.
Sure.
And you know, even bringing it up is like, oh, how do I do this?
Yeah.
But I think it's great to have like black comedians, gay comedians, you know, tall comedians, fat comedians, everything that are in every different walk of life,
Capturing every niche.
Yeah, and asking them like, hey, how do I go about this? Or is this insensitive? Is this funnier? And that's a good way, but I like that.
It's good that you try to find out, you know, because I see.
You don't know. I mean, the worst way is to tell it on stage and find out the hard
That's what I was going to say. A lot of swings and a lot of misses.
Yeah.
And some people, they take that stab, and you know, in good comedy, you know, they're trying, but if you're going to go there, it needs to feel like it's lighthearted. You know, it needs to feel less serious, and sometimes people just miss the delivery. And
by that much, a word, an inflection,
and I have nothing to be offended about, you know. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my,
like, but you know,
like, you shouldn't have said that, buddy. Yeah. And I'm looking around the room like,
yeah. All right, so let's say say Zac is on trial for killing 57 people. You go to death row.
Yeah.
What's your last meal? Is pizza in it? Your last meal?
Unfortunately, probably not.
Okay.
I like seafood quite a lot. I think it would probably just be a sugar-free Red Bull. I drink too much energy drinks, a lot.
Still worrying about your weight.
Yeah, I like the way it tastes better. I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And my teeth. I have bad teeth. I don't drink a lot of like sugary sodas.
That's wise.
Yeah.
You only get one set.
Yeah. If I ever become a comedian, they hit the big time, I'm knocking all my mouth out and getting veneers. Don't care. And I'll have a list for like a year.
White picket that mouth,
yeah,
man.
straight up. It's like my
that.
big. I don't care about cars. I'll get a new mouth.
I get that.
What was I talking about? Before the mouth. The meal. Yeah.
Your last meal on
Yeah,
Earth.
salmon. I want a whole half side of a king salmon, covered in butter and garlic and lemon, and a sugar-free
wise.
Red Bull.
Okay.
I don't even want a side.
Just
fish.
All main.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think mine would be a steak from the steakhouse called Little Alley's.
Little Alley's.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cut?
The steak that I usually get is a 24-ounce porterhouse. My friend has been there more than I have, and I've been there at least 16 times.
It's like eating a chihuahua.
It's massive.
Sure.
But I mean that factors in the bone. So I think if you're in terms of like actual steak, I think it's like 18 ounces.
Yeah.
That's still over a pound.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big steak.
Sure.
And it is the best steak. You go anywhere else, it will ruin steak for you.
Yeah, that's good.
So
I'm not the biggest red meat guy, either chicken or fish.
God.
I like
My
it.
first solid food was steak.
Really?
Yeah, my mom took me to a place called Ponderosa. I swear to God, it's the first food that I ever remember eating.
You took it by your core memory.
Oh my God!
Yeah, core memory.
My mind was like, "Oh, you grew for 2, 3, 4 years.
Sure.
Maturity.
Medium rare. What are you?
Rare.
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 You're that guy.
Seared on the outside. Cool. You think I'd have a big beard, but I can't grow.
That's pretty alpha.
I haven't
of you.
shaved in weeks.
Yeah.
But I can't. April actually got me a beard growing kit.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best it gets for me.
Well, you got more than me, and it looks good. So when I grow facial hair, I just look like a.
I'm so surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I look like a guy who owns a white van. That's so I don't
come hang out.
I keep picturing. Yeah. So I don't do that. I
got a bouncy house.
I can keep this little bit, and that's it. This is what God gave me, and that's okay. So we're talking about bite-worthy, and I actually put bite-worthy in the Urban Dictionary, so hopefully it catches on.
Sweet.
I don't know.
I didn't know it worked like Wikipedia. You could edit that. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's under review. It's probably, I don't know. It's
not even on there yet.
It's stupid. Who cares?
It'll work.
I was like, you know what? This is a term that I like because we have it for food. We have it for, rappers. You're like, he bit my bars, is what they say. He bit my line. He bit my verse.
Sure.
They say that in the rap world, but I was like, I've never heard it in comedy, so I was like, you know what? That's
a bit my joke.
Yeah, you bit my material. So I heard that once. I was like, you know what? I know a lot of bite-worthy comics, and your lightning bug bit is a bite-worthy bit.
I like that.
That's one of the reasons I had you. And
that's clean. I like that.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And so, who are some bite-worthy comedians that you've met in local Atlanta and elsewhere that you've seen?
Sure.
I don't want to ask the typical question because that's not what we do here. Ask the typical questions. What comedians do you look up to? What inspired you to do comedy? I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want some good local meat and potatoes of inspiration. Like who is that for you?
Yeah, I like the guys that are kind of more goofy, and I got to admit, first thing, I'm terrible with names. I really am. He featured the El Dorado last week. His first name's Steven. I don't know his last name, but his closing joke is all white women look just like their daddies.
Stephen Jones. Yeah, Stephen Jones is a very funny comedian, dude.
He's great. I saw him.
He is goofy.
I tried to talk to him
goofy
one time,
as hell.
and he didn't have time for me, and that's cool. I'll talk to him another day. But he did this one joke about a goose, and I won't do his joke, but
that's all you have to say.
A goose in Street Fighter, and I laughed really, really hard. You know what I mean?
That's so stupid.
Yeah, so I like the goofy stuff. You know what I mean? So
he's an incredibly funny comedian.
Yeah,
and he's one. I'll tell one of his secrets. I was like, what are one of your favorite rappers? He's like, Will Smith. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, I'm going to ask you about that later. So if next time you see him, bring it up and give him some shit. But
I heard through the grapevine that you're a pussy. Yeah.
So there are a lot of them. There are a lot of bite-worthy comedians out there.
Yeah.
I always bring up Daniel Delano. He has severely funny bits.
Daniel Delano?
Severely funny. Yeah, short, very, very skinny, glasses. He's everywhere.
I'm sure. I mean, I see the face. I'm sure. I'm so bad with
you'll
names.
know. But you're new.
Yeah.
You're new here, and it's like going into like. If you're a high school and you got transferred from another school, you don't know anybody. You just know, oh, that's the kid with the glasses, or that guy wears suspenders, or that's the tall guy with gray hair. Whatever. You just know him by that, and that's you'll get to know him. Trust me, you'll get to know him, and that's a good thing. You know, there's not many comedians that I met around that I'm not a fan of. Like, very few. I'm not going to say I'm on, because you don't shit on comedians no matter what. That's not a thing you do. No. Some people it's like an acquired taste. It's like food. Yeah. Like some people don't like olives. Olives aren't bad.
Sure.
It's not my taste.
And that's obviously apparent when you're watching like a comedy special of someone on Netflix or Amazon, and if you've been with a group of friends, or like my wife, she's dying at some bits, and I'm just like, it's just not for me.
I don't get it.
Yeah. It's like I can see why it's funny, but it's not hitting me. Yeah. And then I put on what she would say is the dumbest thing she's ever seen, and I'm crying. That's my favorite part, is like strokes for different folks, man. You know, it's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I almost had different strokes for different folks was almost a punchline to a joke that I wrote about a guy like. This guy had a stroke in the bus station. This guy had a stroke elsewhere.
Different strokes for different
folks. But I couldn't bring it together.
That's a good premise.
Yeah, but if I had a nickel for every almost premise, like $2.
Yeah.
$2. Is there a joke that you've heard that just like, apart from like example the goose one, is there a joke that you've heard you're like, I wish I had that joke?
Yeah.
I've heard some bite-worthy material, and there are times where I wish, I'm like, God, I wish that joke was mine, because I've either, like if I hear a short joke, I'm like, oh,
I want that.
I'm 5'5", that should be mine. I wish I had that. Or if one guy had a joke, Adam Murray, he's a comedian. Adam Murray had a joke about Mad Dog 2020, and I laughed harder than the crowd, like audibly laughing. He goes, "Oh, that guy's drink or Mad Dog."
He's like, "I'm not even drunk."
But it's so funny, because that was one of my first experiences, and it's so bad. So Adam Murray, that's a bite-worthy bit. Please, God, keep that bit. If you ever thought about scrapping it, don't. It was wild. Yeah.
Am I local here, or anybody you think?
I rattle off a few. Both. Both.
My favorite comedian right now. I know I said Jim Gaffigan earlier. He's like my idol. But my favorite up and coming practicing comedian is Dusty Slay.
We're having fun.
Yeah,
we're having fun,
dude. Right. I think he's a genius, and I know
sharp.
Yeah, he's the epitome of is relaxed confidence. Like it's surgery. It's precision. What he's doing is on purpose.
Yeah.
But when he's up there,
it seems accidental.
Yeah.
It seems like he walked in from a flea market.
Yeah. Straight up. Yeah.
It's what he's
like. I just got done working on my truck, and now I'm here doing comedy.
Yeah.
He
had a joke where for those of you who know, Dusty Slay has
check him out.
Straight hair coming down from a trucker hat. Almost all the time.
Long hair.
And he goes, "Man, if you thought my hair was attached."
Yeah, and that's a good impression too. Yeah, he picks up his hat.
It's so stupid. Yeah, well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So dumb, but it's so silly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and once you put out, it's like the 8 Mile effect.
Yeah.
Like, I am dumb, and I did live in a trailer. What are you going to say about me? It's like, if you do that, there's nowhere else to go. So
I'm cutting you off.
I dressed the elephant in the room, and he's like, I know I look like this.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So the joke that I want to bite out of him, he's got a bit about flies, and I don't know why I like writing jokes about bugs. I just do bug jokes. I like them. I'm working on some dung beetle jokes right now.
Hope they're not too shitty.
Yeah, yeah, they are. They are. But he's got a bit about a fly.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's going through their head when they keep landing on you?" And he's like, "Maybe he doesn't want me to just land on that one spot. You know, I'll try again over here." It's just so stupid, you know. But
it's a stupid premise.
But like, you know, how many times on a summer night you've been outside and this is happening to you, and you're like, "This idiot fly." And he just flips it over on its back and says, like, he doesn't get it. He doesn't know. You're making expectations based off of what you know. He doesn't know that. Yeah, so.
No idea.
To me, that is simple, beautiful comedy. That's
a good bit. I think the funniest joke that I've heard, maybe all year, in about a year's time, Mark Norman on his special, Out to Lunch, watch it now, it's on YouTube. He said, he had a joke about how we almost come close to becoming pedophiles. He goes, you don't know how close you come to becoming a pedophile. Like, for instance, in 3rd grade, I drank grape juice. But now I'm an adult, I drink wine. When I was in 3rd grade, I liked 3rd grade girls. But now, I like older women. He goes, but I still like grape juice.
yeah. I've seen that special, yeah.
And that joke, I mean, it is short, it's simple, it's edgy, but, you know, it's not cursing. He's just saying something completely insane. Yeah. And it's so funny, and it's so succinct and perfect.
Yeah.
God.
That's one of my favorite, like, you know, quotes to keep on the fridge or whatever. But Jerry Seinfeld once said, he's like, comedy is stating something ridiculous and then justifying it. You know what I mean? It's like, we were so close to being pedophiles. Let me tell you why. You know,
because you catch people with that. Like, what do you, Mark, explain yourself? He's like, oh, I will. This is the joke.
And then it's funny because it's like, he's got something there. It's like, that kind of makes some sense. Yeah. So
I had a lady, because I have a joke about violent crimes trigger my food cravings. And a lady in the crowd goes, "What?" I said, the lady goes, "What? Don't worry, I'll explain."
I'll get there.
That's
I'm up here to tell you the
quiet. Stay tuned. The punchline's coming. But it's just so funny that I'm like, I felt accomplished in that joke to where I said something so crazy that they're like,
I gotta know.
But it just rattled out of her mouth. What? I was like,
sure.
So my last question. Is a fuck, marry, kill. Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Frankie Valli. This is the Jersey of fuck, marry, kill. Pardon my language, but that's how it is.
I'll change it to boink.
Boink, marry, kill.
I'll boink. I'm surprised Bon Jovi's not on there. I'd boink.
I thought about putting old John Bon on there.
John Bon, yeah. I think I'd boink Springsteen.
You'd boink the boss?
I'd boink the boss.
Okay.
Pay respect. The other two, give it to me.
I hope you, Billy Joel or Frankie Valli.
I hope
you kill that piano man.
Yeah, I was going to kill Frankie Valli, And then we marry Billy Joel.
All right. He's got the most money. I don't blame you. That's a good call.
Alimony.
That's
Get
it.
out of there.
That's it. Well, that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This will be uploaded, new episodes every Sunday. New comedian. Next week I will have... Who's on next week? Corey Isla. So stay tuned for that. Anything you want to plug?
I mean... My butt. No.
Being a new comic, if you don't have any bookings, where do you usually perform?
Sure, yeah. I'm at the El Dorado probably every Friday, if not on Sunday. And then I do the Laughing Skull whenever they'll have me. So on March, a week from today. On Monday, Laughing Skull. Come laugh at my bug jokes. Actually, I'm not doing bug jokes. I'm doing a new set. So come see the new set.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Thanks so much.
Stay tuned, everybody. That's it.
Sweet, bro.
That's all she wrote.
Ugh. That's a lot of fun, man.
Glad you enjoyed it. You're getting into it. I didn't expect anything less. If you're like, oh, you're in communications, you know what to do.
Sure, man. I appreciate it.